Hi, and welcome everyone. My name is Naiva Flory, and it is my honor to be a part of the Million Mom Movement Council with some incredible council members, Taz Ferreira, Sherry Packard, and Tammy Trissel. And today we're tuning in for our fourth episode of Wealth Wednesday. And we have an incredible guest here today who's going to be sharing some of her wisdom with us. But first, I just want to share a little bit about what our mission is here with the Million Mom Movement. Our mission is really, we have an intention to build a movement of many and to share this vision. And we're calling moms, dads, caregivers, people that we love and want as a part of our community, aunts, uncles, grandparents, educators, and influencers to make a difference in our local communities. And our mission is that we are 1,000 people from 100 different communities, each committing to spread health and well-being in our communities, and an economic opportunity around organic superfood nutrition with at least 10 families each. And we are going to reach 1 million strong by locking arms together and building this mission. And so I'm so grateful that each and every one of you found yourself here today. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to one of our founders and owners of Perum, Dave Sandoval, who's going to introduce our guest today.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Naeva. And yeah, we're going to get together every Wednesday. Every other Wednesday, twice a month. Is our rhythm. And I want to establish a sort of a weekly or bi-weekly reminder. So I just put a few words down to paper, and I'm going to be looking at it. So please forgive me. It says at Perum, we believe that everyone is born with an abundance of wealth, born with an abundance of wealth. And that's because you have a wealth of time, a wealth of imagination, a wealth of energy, and a wealth of hard work, focus, and potential. And when you focus that wealth, the wealth that you were born with, when you focus that properly, that wealth could be translated into other types of wealth, a wealth of financial freedom that we talk about, but also a wealth of time and a wealth of relationships, and a wealth of belonging and purpose. Because when you look at what's important to people, having belonging and purpose, being part of a community are equally as important as having financial freedom. Being able to have time with their family is equally as important as the money, as long as they have the money too, but all those things without the money are hard to pull off, honestly. And so we just want to put the money back into that mix of happiness and not be ashamed of it, not even a little bit. And I want to let you know that Perum's the right company and that this is the right time to be with Perum, because we have the right products and our products meet the moment. So if you also are ready to meet the moment, like so many people who have become Perum partners are, I need to share a powerful statistic with you. And you may or may not have heard this, but most self-made millionaires, okay? Most self-made millionaires have not done so in real estate, like I thought, the stock market, like I tried, or cryptocurrencies, like some of us have. They actually do it in network marketing. In fact, there have been more self-made millionaires through network marketing than all of the other ways combined. So, like I said, you're in the right place with the right company at the right time, and we have the right opportunity. Now, today's guest is going to show us how she took advantage of that opportunity. But before I introduce you to Mary Beth, I want to explain why we're the right company, why I believe we have the right products, and why this is the right time. One of the biggest problems in the world today is a compromised gut microbiome. It's led to unprecedented levels of depression, unprecedented levels of obesity. It may contribute to Alzheimer's, autism, and so many other things. Okay. But Perum has a solution. We're the only company that I know of in the world that has a solution that's been proven the way that ours has been proven through clinical evidence and over time. And when combined with our ultimate lifestyle transformation, We have positively impacted hundreds of thousands of life. I'm in California, had a little earthquake. You know how it goes here. Another major issue facing the planet is the overuse of disposable plastic. And Perum has proudly reduced our plastic use by over 90%. We've displaced almost 200,000 pounds of plastic through our plant-based compostable packaging initiative. And finally, 90% of American households are living paycheck to paycheck. They're suffocating credit card debt. And Perum has a real answer that could add between $200, $2,000, $20,000 a month to their household income. And one last thing I want to tell you is that I'm an example of the American tragedy. I was a homeless American. I did not have the opportunity to finish high school. I did not go to college. I was not born with a silver spoon or an endowment or anything like that. And you can read my story. I've been written about in Inc. magazine multiple times. But the difference is attitude. Okay? The difference is attitude. When I slept under trees on the dirt with bugs crawling on my body, yes, it's not pretty, but it's true. I looked up at the stars and I spoke to God and I said, this is where I am, but this is not who I am. I'm a star, and it's just a matter of time before I'm shining up in the sky right next to all those other stars. And I know that people looked at me and said I was an animal because of the way I smelled and my hair and the fact I couldn't shave and all those things. And this is not a lie. I looked at them and I said, don't worry, I'm here to save you. Just give me some time. And you have to have that attitude no matter where you are. It's not who you are. Your position in life is not where you are destined to be. And you have so much wealth that's already ingrained in you to our great creator, that wealth of potential. And so we have an amazing story to share today with an incredible woman who made her not dreams come true, because dreams are when you're sleeping. She manifested her reality through her actions. So I posted on Facebook, no, this is not a dream come true. This is a manifestation of your hard work. So Mary Beth, welcome to the show. Thank you so much tonight, Ava. Stick around. We might ask you to comment again. But right now, I want to ask, name, rank, and serial number. Tell us who you are, whatever you'd like to share, Mary Beth.
Yeah, hello everyone. And I'm Mary Beth Fleming. I'm a 2-star crown in this company. And first of all, Dave, I just want to say thank you so much, because I would not be here without this company, without your vision, without Amy, without corporate, laying the foundation of hard work and dedication and vision and forward thinking and grit, a heart of servitude to really lay the foundation for the rest of us to blossom and shine. So I just want to say thank you so much for having me. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And now, I just have a couple of questions and then I'm going to turn you loose. I always ask, how many years ago did you first hear about the products? Hold that. How many days, weeks, months, years after you started using the products did you commit to being a brand partner? Hold that. And then finally, after that commitment to being a brand partner, how long before you achieved your first rank that made a difference in your life? Not just your first rank, but the first rank that made a difference in your life. Ready, set, go.
Awesome. Well, I was one of those people that already thought I was extremely healthy when I was introduced to Perum. So I was actually introduced to Perum a few times via the product. And each time I was like, no, I'm good. I've already tried superfoods. Thanks. And it wasn't until a friend actually introduced the business that it really caught my attention. And it had to be at the right time for me. So a little backstory is I spent a lot of my life kind of living in the seasonal work kind of dollar per hour paradigm, where I would work 3 to 5 jobs, work really, really hard, save up enough money, and then take some time off and go travel and volunteer. And then I would blow through all that money and come back and have to start again. And I in 2016, I had the opportunity to go to Guinea, West Africa with the Kisidugu Foundation, volunteering with them. And I ended up meeting my husband, who is now my husband. And we fell in love without any language, without really anything in common, honestly, besides a love for music and a big heart. And I went back the next year and we conceived our first son. And I left Guinea 3.5 months pregnant, thinking I'll be able to see him soon and our son will be reunited with him before he was born. But that was not the case because the immigration process took about 2 years. So what really hit me hard was I was back home. I had my son. I wanted my family to be united and I didn't have the financial means to do it. So I was working 4 or 5 jobs. Some of them were entrepreneurial endeavors. I owned my own plant-based food club. I was, running a yoga studio, property management, working at health food stores, restaurants, like all kinds of different things to try to get ends meet paid and to afford this expensive immigration process. And so there was one moment I remember I was in a pretty low. I was in my kitchen table, just like, this is not what I thought life was. Like, I've had an amazing life of travel and experience. And here I am, on welfare as a single mom. My husband's thousands of miles away. And what am I going to do? And so it was the first moment in my life where I really had lost hope in a certain way. Like emotionally, I was very distraught. Financially, I was very distraught. Physically, I was very distraught because who knew about postpartum depletion? I didn't. And so I was 13 months postpartum depletion with my first son, like hair falling out, skin and nails breaking, low energy. And I thought I was a very healthy person, And so I remember that night like it was yesterday where I got this message in my messenger about a friend who reached out and just said, Mary, I know that I've shared with you about these superfoods before, but honestly, I've been watching your story and I think I have a bigger opportunity for you. I recognize that you've been going through some hard times from what I've seen, and may I share something with you that has completely helped my family and helped us change our reality when we were going through a hard time. And so I was like, sure, I have, sure, show it to me. And so I went on a call and I learned about Perum and I learned about, the opportunity to maybe work from home and start building a side income to finally get enough money to bring my husband over here officially. And when I first started, I did not have many hours to work. I was working 4 other jobs. I worked like 2 or 3 hours late at night when my son was asleep, and I just started the process. And I remember when I purchased the superfoods to get started, it was $500 on my credit card. And I was like, okay, I have 2 weeks to try to figure out how to pay this bill. And so I had a lot of motivation to make it happen. And by the grace of God, it just started taking momentum. As soon as I got the products in my body, I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been missing. Like all those years that I thought I was really healthy, I got depleted in the nursing process and in the process of growing a baby, right? And so it was a really phenomenal moment for me in March of 2019 because I had been in the company for 2 months. I had been on the products for 2 months. And I remember it being the first time where I felt like I was myself again. Like my moods were balanced. I was sleeping better. I had the energy and the excitement for my son again. And it also happened to be when I made my first couple of bonuses and I was able to finally pull together those finances to bring my husband here officially. And so I went to my very first Perum event in March of 2019. I got out of postpartum depletion in March of 2019, and my husband came to the United States all because of those first 2 months in my business being a powerful opportunity for me financially and physically and emotionally.
Wow, what a beautiful story. You had me on the edge of my seat, on the edge of tears. You had me definitely, what an excellent story. Of course, I'm a sucker for a love story. So, but speaking of, like family, in addition to the beautiful family that I had the pleasure to meet, and, to your husband is just such a bright light and a joy. His drumming, his dancing, is really beautiful and inspiring. But other than your physical family, you've grown another family, this community, So Tell us what it's been like to be part of the Perum community. But then I need you to do a short training. We're here. We want other people here to learn how could they be more like you. So a quick note on what it's been like to be part of the Perum community. But then I want you to go into professor mode, ask people to take out their pencils and papers and give them some of those gems that can help them experience the wealth that we want for them. So, so much.
Awesome. Well, I mean, that was the other thing I was really looking for when I found Perum is as a single mom and my story, I kind of isolated myself. And so I was looking for community. I was looking for like-mindeds. And it's been so amazing to step into this community where I'm being inspired every day and motivated every day by people. And a lot of my team is made up of good family and friends. So it's been such a joy to like deepen my relationship and then also be introduced to all these new people every single day that I never would have met if it wasn't for Perum. And we talk about being here, being able to create a legacy and create more impact. That's one way we do it is because we get to meet all these people and those people introduce us to people and people and people. And, my organization at this point is like over 10,000 people. And there's no way that I would have been able to touch the lives of 10,000 people plus if I kept doing my solo entrepreneur, money for dollar hour paradigm type thing. And so when you step into this business, you step into an opportunity to really expand yourself, expand your network, and expand your relationships. So it's been amazing in that way. And, some of the things that I'll touch on, I really wanted to talk about some of the characteristics that I feel like have really helped me get to where I am, because in reality,
Okay, so this is the pencil and paper time. Let's make it clear. She has so much to share. If you're in the mindset that you're ready to step into a wealth mindset, listen to some of the things she's about to say. So I'm going to turn off my camera and my microphone because I want you to know that you have the stage. I want everyone to be focused on you and what you're about to share. So take it away.
awesome. Thank you, Dave. Well, first, I just want to touch on this thing that you said, Dave, about, abundance being our birthright. And I really do believe that. I mean, if you look in nature, nature is so abundant, right? Everywhere around you. And I think as we grow older, we take on limiting beliefs and things happen to us that we forget that it is our birthright to live in abundance in all those different ways you spoke of, not only in the bank account, but, in experience and in fulfillment and within our time and in our relationships. And so one thing that I've really, really had to monitor with myself in this business is bring in that self-awareness of this is available to me. And, one of my uplines, Christina Amon, always talks about living on the planet of possibility. And so that's really what Perum has been for me, is this vehicle of what is possible here. Everything is laid out for us. The systems are laid out. The products are laid out. Dave and Amy, the leadership is laid out. And really all we get to do here is tap into that and find our unique gifts that we can share with the world within that system, within that vehicle. So the first thing to take note of that I do in my business is I take note of when I'm operating my business from a space of constriction or a space of expansion. Because, drop a one if you find yourself every day being faced by limiting beliefs. Drop a one in the chat if you find that. Yeah, it's not easy, right? We all have limiting beliefs. And so I come from a background where I didn't grow up with money, and I watched my parents work so hard and never get ahead. And I started working at a really young age and never got ahead. I thought residual income was just for people that were born into wealth. Like I didn't know it was something that I could have, that anyone could have. So in order to really kind of get into this abundance mindset, I monitor on a daily basis. Am I in a state of expansion or am I in a state of constriction? And when I'm in constriction, the fear comes in, the limiting beliefs come in, the frustration, the like, oh, I don't want to talk to this person, or, oh, I'm bothering them, or, I get all these mentalities starting to come in. And so I stop myself in that moment And I break that pattern and I go outside and I get reminded of the abundance that is in nature and the abundance that is available to me. And then I come back, I take deep breaths, I do whatever I need to do, even if it's 1 or 2 5-minute break. And then I come back to operating my business in that state of expansion, which is a state of, feeling and knowing that abundance, feeling and knowing that I am capable, being open-minded, staying in a positive mindset, being willing to grow, being willing to fail forward. And that's one reason I think that my business really propelled quickly, is because I was able to catch myself in those moments. And so that is one of the biggest things that I would share with you all, is if you're really wanting to embrace abundance fully in your life, take the self-awareness. Am I operating from constriction, or am I operating from a space of expansion? Because this business is so expansive. Literally, the income potential is unlimited for us. The amount of relationships we can build, the amount of people we can impact their lives is unlimited. And so when we're operating from that space, we can then tap into that, right? So that's kind of my first and foremost tip. And my second real thing that I wanted to touch on is gratitude. For many, many years, I had a gratitude practice that I think really set me up for this business. I remember there was a point in time in my life where I was in kind of a low. I was facing some depression, and I heard something about the power of gratitude, and recognizing and appreciating the abundance in one's life is one powerful motivator to further the success in your life. And so I started a gratitude practice every single day for 15 minutes, where my head did not hit the pillow at night unless I had written down my gratitude journal. And I would, even if I had a bad day, I would write like, I'm so grateful for this bad day because it's showing me that I don't want to have one of these days again. Or I am so grateful that my car broke down because I ended up meeting so-and-so and they helped me, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just said gratitude for all of it, for the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. And I literally did this gratitude practice for 3,000, I think it was like 682 days, like for years, until it was embodied within me. And I think that when we're operating this business, it's so important to be reminded of what a gift we have. Perum is such a gift. Like, it's literally a silver platter handed to us, and to act in humility of that, and in such deep gratitude for the challenges that come up in this business, because it's making us a better person, be in gratitude of the social media technical stuff that you had to learn and that are frustrating you, because it's all helping you access the abundance that is here. So it's not only the consistency in your action here that helps you grow this business, but it's also the consistency in your energy and how you're showing up in that space of expansion and gratitude. So I have to start there because I feel like that's the foundation. And then another thing that has really, really supported me in building this business is this idea of risk tolerance. So go ahead and drop a 3 in the chat if you find yourself to be kind of like a risk adverse person, like you just rather not take the risk and kind of play it more safe. Or drop a 6 if you're more like, I'm the one to jump off the cliff into the water, right? Yeah. So one thing that I've learned about this business is to embrace risk tolerance. Risks are inherent in growth, and calculated risks are just part of the process here. And so we have a lot of promotions like Transformation Now. Investing in your business is a little bit of a risk, right? We have mini marathons, like going out and being on the limb and calling 40 people in 40 people in 4 days. It's a little bit of a risk, right? Doing something you've never done to get somewhere you've never been. So doing something you've never done to get somewhere you've never been is a risk. And one time I heard someone say, it's never a bad investment when you're investing in yourself. And truly, that's all Perum is we get to be part of this community, be part of this business, invest in ourselves to learn and to grow and to become more and push our limits and move beyond those limiting beliefs. And when you invest in yourself, you can never lose. So just be willing to take a bet on yourself. Like, just be willing, because belief in yourself is going to take you so far in this business. And even if you mess up or you fumble or you fall, it's all part of the growth pathway. there's many times in this business where I've been scared, or I've been like, oh no, this problem has come up, or oh no, these people in my organization are having conflict. Like, what do I do? I go back to this idea of what would courage do? And to me, acting in courage is being risk tolerant. What would courage do? And I take those opportunities to expand and be in a space of expansiveness in those instances. So for me, the only way to really fail is to quit entirely. If you're working this business every day, if you're challenging yourself, if you're doing your income producing activities, if you're showing up for the calls, if you're bringing your upline connect calls, if you're calling those 5 extra people that instead of going to bed, like, you are embracing that risk tolerance, and that is going to move you forward and move you further in this business. So that's one characteristic. The other thing is being solution oriented. And we have such amazing leaders of our company to show us how to be solution oriented in terms of our plastic free packaging and, just really always being the next and best thing. And honestly, in this industry, the bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. And that is a quote by Eric Worre, who is like a network marketing guru. The bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. So we are literally being paid to help solve problems for people, whether it's, oh, I'm not getting enough sleep, I need some support, or, I need some more, I need some gut health support, or I need some financial support, I want to build a business. We are here to be problem solvers. And the more you embrace that, the more fun you're going to have, because instead of seeing things that arise as, oh, that's a problem, I need to back away from that, it's like, no, this is a problem, I get to solve this, and I get to support, and I get to be of service in this. So one of the ways that I have been able to stay in a solution-oriented mindset in developing this business is just getting comfortable with seeing problems as opportunities. Learning to operate from that expansive mindset, even when the scarcity comes in. There's a phrase that I say for myself a lot is there's more than enough and plenty to share. There's more than enough and plenty to share. And so when we operate from that space, whenever a problem comes in, we can find the solution. One thing that I love that Jim Rohn said, who is also in the network marketing sphere, he says, what can I do? What can I learn? Who can I ask? And where can I find the answer? So anytime you find a problem in this business or a limiting belief that comes in, whether it's a personal problem or a professional problem, what can I do? What can I learn? Who can I ask? And how can I find the answer? So this has been really instrumental in my business of learning, like, this is about what I'm creating. The abundance is available to me, and what am I going to do to attain that? So seeing problems as setbacks as learning experiences, and just adapting to being a solution-oriented person. So that's one thing. Another thing that has really, really supported me is this idea of delayed gratification. So we hear this term, like short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. And honestly, my experience with my husband taught me so much about this, because, being away from my husband for 2 years, being pregnant, having our first child, him not even meeting our first child till he was 16 months old. There were so many times in that process where I wanted to quit. But I knew, like, this is a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain, because if I continue, if I keep going, if I keep believing, if I keep, overcoming these problems that we're challenged with, there will be a long-term gain. And the long-term gain has been that my husband is here now, and we have 3 children, and we're living the life that we dreamed of, and all these things. And so I think about that in our business. There's often a lot of work that we have to put forth to get this thing going, right? When I first started my business, it was like in every waking moment that I had, if I couldn't be physically working my business, I was thinking about it, or it was just always on my mind, and I would go to the bathroom and I'd send a text message real quick, or I'd, stay up that extra 30 minutes, wake up that extra hour early just to get this thing going. And in the beginning, the financial reward that I saw in this business definitely helped me get my husband here, but it was still just helping me pay the bills. And I just stuck with it. And 8 months into this business, I was able to let go of all those other gigs that I was doing and really be able to put more time into Perum to build more momentum. So if you're in a stage in your business where you feel like you're putting in a lot of work, and it's worth it, because in this industry, you can put in, a lot of work in the beginning and you can get a really long-term payout for it. And there's a phrase, you might be working a little bit more than you're getting paid for in the beginning, but at the end, you're going to be getting paid way more than, what you're working for. And I can attest to that. It's this idea of having time abundance and a leveraged business that allows that. So delaying that immediate gratification for the long-term vision and just staying consistent. There's so many people that quit right before they're there. Like, there were so many times where I wanted to quit in that process with my husband, but if I would have, I would have been right there, right? And so that's a huge, huge thing, is just delay that instant gratification and continue to be super connected to your why. I coach my team this constantly. I write down my why every single day. And obviously my why when I first started this business was getting my husband here, but now it's shifted and molded a ton, and I have a new why. And so I am connected with my why every single day, whether I wake up in the morning and journal on it for a couple minutes, or I'm just thinking about it throughout the day. There isn't a day that goes by of why I'm doing this business, why I'm doing this work, why I care about it, and what I'm focusing on a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, so that you can develop the grit to really keep going and keep going when it gets tough, because it's going to make you stronger. So that's a big one for me, is the delayed gratification. And then the last piece that I want to talk about in terms of mindset is responsibility. Like, 100%, this business is your responsibility of whatever you're creating here. Your wealth creation is 100% your responsibility, and of course God, so I really started embracing that early on, and recognizing that if I was going to go far here, integrity really, really matters, and setting the tone for a culture of trust and accountability and responsibility, and being there for my team, showing up for my team. Because if I'm not showing up, how can I expect them to show up? If I'm not working on myself to move through these limiting beliefs, how can I expect my team to do that? If I'm not calling people and making an effort to do mini marathons and talk to more people and go to these holiday parties and network, like, how can I expect my team to? And so that is something I think is really, really important, is just, we've been handed this gift, this vehicle, and now it's our responsibility to do something amazing with it. So, I feel like, drop a 2 in the chat if you recognize that you're kind of in this state of continual preparation. Like, you're just constantly preparing for it to happen, right? I was there for many years. I was just constantly preparing, like, someday it's going to happen. And then when I got to this business, I really learned that we have to be in action. Like, we've got to jump before we're ready. We've got to fail forward. And so if you're in a state of your business where you might be leaning more towards the side of perfectionism, or like, oh, I need to get this right before I send a message, or I need to know what I'm going to say to X, Y, and Z, like, just take the jump, just leap, because you're not going to get to where you want to be by being in a continual state of preparation. Like, you have to be in action, and that's where the biggest growth comes. So I remember there was a time when I would look at wealthy people and I would honestly just think, like, oh, it's easy for them. Like, it's easy for them for X, Y, and Z because their parents were wealthy, or they had more opportunity than me, or blah, blah, blah. And I think we have a tendency to make excuses because we don't actually want to do the work that's involved in creating the type of success we want to see. So you really have to look at yourself. Like, am I making excuses, or am I actually doing the work that will create the abundance here that is absolutely available to each and every one of us? And I'm just curious, have you ever had a time in your life when you projected on someone else's experience to basically make an excuse for why you can't do it? Like, go ahead and drop a 2 in the chats. Like, have you ever had a time when you projected on someone else's experience? Oh, it's easy for my upline because X, Y, and Z. Oh, they can do it because they have blah, blah, blah. And it's really just you making an excuse for being in the same place, for staying in the same place, right? So we have to look at this within ourselves, and we have to be willing to see where our excuses are keeping us stuck, take responsibility for that, and move forward. This business is a lot about grit, like if you stick with it, you will have success here. And yes, it can be financial success, but there's so much more success to be had here. There's so much more abundance than just the financial success here with Perum. There's the abundance of community. There's abundance of impact. There's abundance of personal growth and the abundance of getting aligned with your passion and feeling so excited to wake up to your JOB, your joy of being every single day. Because that's to me what Perum is. It's my joy of being every single day. So, do it for the greater good, take responsibility for this. And if you embody these characteristics of, gratitude, risk tolerance, having a solution-oriented mindset, what was the other one I spoke to? Responsibility and delayed gratification. There's no reason that you can't experience whatever type of abundance you want to experience here. Because Perum has laid it out for us. It's created the launch pad, and now we just have to launch. So that's a little bit what I wanted to share with everyone today, Dave, about some of the mindset that has really supported me in moving forward with this vehicle.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Mary Beth. I just segue into this really quickly. Stick with me now. There's a cost of success. I want to talk to you about this. There's a cost of success. I know people have become successful, there, notice the air quotes, lawyers, doctors, and CEOs, right? And they, first of all, had to go to school. And during that time of school, what I call lost opportunity time, potentially between 4, 7 or more years, let's just say an average of 5, you lose 5 years going to school, and you spend $150,000 to $300,000 for the privilege of going to that school and getting the education. And then maybe you start at the bottom of your career, you earn your tenure. Tenure and 10 years has a connotation that you don't realize. It takes a while to become the master of any field. So if you take the 5 years of school, the couple $100,000 in debt, and the time it takes to build experience in your field, you're talking about a serious cost to yourself, okay? Now, every success has a cost. Now, at Perum, we have a verified, audited income statement, okay? It shows what your potential to earn at Perum is. And if you look at the highest level of that, where many people are earning, it's the same as those highly paid doctors and surgeons that are working 70 hours on call a week. Those high-powered lawyers who have to work 70 to 80 hours a week in order to keep their name on that placard. Joe, Johnson, Stevenson, Jacoby, and whatever, they got to keep their name up there by how many hours they work and how much money they bring in to the company. Okay, there's a real cost of success in the other world that we admire so much. And I'm telling you, the same earnings at Perum can be had. And it is amazing how I see people earning income and having their lives as well. So the wealth isn't just the money. The doctors, the lawyers, and the CEOs have the money, but they don't have their families. They don't have their time. They don't ever, have what I consider wealth. So, there's a cost to anything. Anything you do is going to create stress. Making excuses creates stress. You know what I mean? Everything causes stress. So why not? If you're going to be under some form of stress, why not do it helping people's lives improve? Why not do it uplifting humanity? Why not do it protecting Mother Earth? Why not do it while you're part of an amazing community of people like Mary Beth Fleming and Naiva Flory? and Amy Venner, and these incredible, powerful women and men who are leading the world to a better place. So, Mary Beth, I'm going to give you the final word, and then we're going to invite Naeva to close us down.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. And you're so right. I mean, man, what this business has allotted for me and my family in terms of like the ability to spend time with each other and create income. That was one of my big things when my husband came. Not only had we not seen each other for 2 years, but now we're married, we're parents. Like, we got to spend time together. And Perum has created that flexibility. And I make such an amazing income here that it also supports my husband as an artist. So one of the things that I am really passionate about is supporting the artists. And many immigrants and many artists and many other professions, they put their talent on the side and then have to go get the day job to make the money and pay the bills, to then their talent gets pushed away. And Perum is a vehicle to let people's talents shine forth, to let your unique gifts shine forth so that you don't have to put that to the side. And Perum has been such a blessing for us because it's an income stream that then allows my husband to be an artist full time and not have to, do the extra side jobs in order to sustain that. And so there's so much to say about being able to have your time here, not only the financial, but be able to have your time and do what you love and impact people's lives in a positive way. And, I went to business school. I did the 4-year degree. I had a minor in entrepreneurship. I graduated at the top of my class. I didn't learn anything that I got to do here in Perum. Like, I struggled as an entrepreneur for years with all that knowledge and all that expense and yada, yada. And then I come to Perum and I learn how to like actionably start a business and get it going. And I learn about systems and I learn about leverage business and I learn about social media in real time and have been able to create a business here with nothing that I learned in school. So it's absolutely phenomenal what we have here as a tool for leveraging your time, your success, your enjoyment, your fulfillment. You're being inspired by an amazing community. So I'm just honored to be here. And thank you, Dave.
Thank you so much. And for those of you who are watching on Facebook, feel free to share this. I'm going to share it on my own personal Facebook. And I hope that you will too, Mary Beth. I think this is a beautiful, message that you have that many people should hear. So thank you for being part of our community, for sharing your beautiful story, and for inspiring us in such a really beautiful way. Naeva?
Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you so much, Mary Beth, for sharing your wisdom and your story with us. It is so inspiring. And I just want to invite everyone to share some of your takeaways in the comments, whether you're watching on Facebook or you're here with us on Zoom. Share some of your takeaways because she shared so much great tips today with us. And I think it's so important for us to continue to dial those in. And sometimes when we write it down or say it out loud, it helps us to retain those lessons that we've learned. And each and every one of you here is a part of the Million Mom movement. Each and every one of you here has the ability to reach out to 10 people in your community and share this video with them, share this story with them, share some inspiration with them today, and help them to become a part of our movement. Because just like Mary Beth said, she was already a healthy person. It took several attempts of people reaching out to her and sharing with her and following up and really encouraging her to come into this community and look at where she is now. And if that person would have gave up after the first no, she would not be here right now with us. So, keep reaching out to those people, keep encouraging your community of what we have here, and encourage them to be a part of our community because you were one of the people that somebody cared enough about to invite you here to this community. And now it's your opportunity to be that person for somebody else. So I thank each and every one of you here for joining us. Thank you again so much, Mary Beth, for your wisdom, for sharing with us. And I just want to remind everybody that our call later with Dave is now at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So don't forget about our products and passion later on today. Please join Dave there. And
Head
Dave,
to toe.
yeah, is there anything else you wanted to share, Dave?
Well, yeah, I just want to ask you. So we're here on a marketing call, right? We're here because we're Perum people. So let's share a little thought that we have. So have anybody ever played Operation when you were a kid and you got that, that little tweezers, right? Well, imagine if we had an operation type of card, but instead of the problems, we have the solutions for your brain, for your hair, for your eyes, for your heart, for your joints, for your prostate, right? And so we could send maybe a note to somebody, say, hey, if this was you and you were operating on yourself, what would you fix first? And they're going to tell you, oh, my eyes, my hair, my heart, my brain, my memory, whatever it might be. And then you could open a conversation. So we're going to work on a marketing piece to accompany the head to toe, that'll allow you in a fun way to invite people to pre-qualify themselves, to circle the areas that they need help and that we have solutions for. So we're working on that. It may or may not be ready by tonight's call because I forgot it was at 4, but we're going to try. So thanks, everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dave. We'll see you there at 4. Thank you again, Mary Beth, and aloha for now, everybody. Happy Wealth Wednesday, and spread this message far and wide into your communities. Aloha for now.
Thank you, everybody. Aloha.
Thank you.
Thank you for the